Let's chat. Okay. Excellent. How's everyone doing today? I hope that everyone's doing great. Sorry. Hopefully today's stream should be a little bit better. Um I don't think we'll get back up to 30 frames per second like I had hoped, but it should be a lot better than last week. I spent quite a few hours debugging and trying to get higher frames per second. Because I'm streaming from my laptop. Yeah, Wirecast is just very CPU bound right now, and my poor little 2016 MacBook Pro just doesn't quite have enough CPU power for it. So that was a learning experience. It was quite interesting. But we'll definitely be going over my current setup. Um, and I ultimately I really do love it. I'll show you all the stuff that I use. Maybe we'll start off with some hardware, kind of show you what hardware I use, and then I'll show you some software. And we, yeah, I'm happy to go into after I go through all the audio and video stuff. I'm happy to pretty much go into anything, any questions you want if you want to learn about what I use for anything. So yeah, without further ado, let me go ahead and hopefully this will work. It worked pretty well last week. Um, First off, thank you very much for coming, Rian and Carl and Lloyd and Rob, Paul. Thank you for coming, Paul, Blair, and obviously Danny Grizzle. So first off, what I'm going to show you, because I use Wirecast, the software, to do my live streams. I mentioned that earlier, and um, all of that is pretty cool. And they have an iOS app, and what that allows me to do is it will allow me to basically stream from my phone um, through my Mac and ultimately out to the live stream. Right. So I'm going to go ahead and connect my camera here. Okay. There we go. So you should be. Whoa. It is like really zoomed in. Hold on one second. Oh, let me fix that really quick. Not sure why that happened. Oh boy, look at that. That's ginormous. It was like it was set to like 3,000 scale. Crazy. Okay. Oh, it's because I had it in portrait mode, I think. Sorry, one second. I forgot to set this up beforehand. Bad Joe. Boom. Okay. Shoot. Okay, is there audio now? Yeah, there we go. There's the audio. Not sure what audio is going on with the phone. Maybe if I take that out, take out my accessory. Oh. Uh, hmm. Yes. Okay. Um. Okay. Anyway, so oops. Not sure why the iPhone mic isn't working. It worked last week, and actually it was annoying because it was producing an echo last week. So I'll try to have to talk pretty loud so that this mic can work here. So I'm gonna flip my camera around and we'll see everything that I currently am using here. So this is my desktop, right? So I have two 5K LG displays now, and my main machine is now my 2016 MacBook Pro. And so yeah, so that's my 2016 MacBook Pro. That is a Blackmagic external GPU. Okay, so essentially that is plugged directly into the MacBook Pro, and then that display is plugged into the eGPU, and then that display is actually plugged into here. If we let me have a peek behind the MacBook really quick. So back here, you'll notice that I do have a couple things. And this is a Thunderbolt dock. It's a CalDigit Thunderbolt dock. And that has basically a bunch of USB stuff as well as this display plugged into that. So basically, I wanted as few things to connect directly to my laptop as possible via Thunderbolt. I do have an external SSD Thunderbolt right here as well. This is a Samsung SSD Thunderbolt 3 drive. Super expensive. Crazy fast as well. This over here, this little unit right down there, that is a a DAC, so digital audio converter, so that I can play music on these really cool speakers that I love. Okay, so that's all the stuff that's on my desk. And I got this little stand right here so that I can just plop my MacBook straight in there. It's really good. I have a PowerMate. I love this thing. It's really cool. Works great for video editing and whatnot. Changing volumes. I have a few various macros because you can push it. It's a button. You can do all kinds of cool stuff with it. Got this new keyboard. It's called a Keychron, and I really enjoy that. Oops. Oh, there we go. And it has a whole bunch of cool lighting stuff. It's my first kind of foray into mechanical keyboards. And I really like it. It's got this cool wood walnut wrist thing. And then over here I have a Stream Deck. Okay, and Stream Deck has basically I started from scratch the other day, and I deleted everything that I had, and basically it allows me to pre-program buttons, right? So if I push this button, I can have it do various things on my Mac and stuff like that. So pretty cool. I like it. I have a lot of buttons. It's something that I have on my to-do list is to try to reprogram this. The one button that I have right here, right now, is an undock button. So on my setup here, I do have, I should have used my gimbal so that, the video is not as jumpy. That probably would have been a smart move. But anyway, when I click that button, it essentially it disconnects, it unmounts that SSD. It because when you have an external GPU, you have to actually disconnect it. It's like ejecting it. So you have to eject that external GPU, and then I quit various apps that I know I don't want to use when I'm on laptop mode. So that's kind of like my undock button right there. So when I click that, it does various things. Ejects the external SSD, ejects my eGPU, quits a few different apps and whatnot, and then I can unplug my laptop and take it with me. Okay. So these LG displays have pretty decent webcams, but I do have an external one. This is the one I was using earlier when you saw me. The quality of this, I just really like it. It's a Logitech. I don't know, one of the Logitechs. I think it's the 920 or it's the HD model of Logitech webcams. And I like it because it's nice and it's a wide angled and whatnot. And if you'll notice, I guess what you can see is on my displays, I have them on arms. They are not on displays. I have them on arms. And one thing I also did is I put this on a little mic boom stand. because the reason that it gives me a little bit of freedom to move that webcam around. And a lot of times, when I'm doing web work, if I or live streams, I'll be banging on the desk and my monitors will shake. I don't want the webcam shaking, so that's why it's on an external boom arm. And if you look in the back wall there, I created this little rest that has various holes drilled into it that I can then plop that wherever I want. You can see it a little bit better here with my mic boom. So this is my mic. It's a Heil PR40, and got this little Weaver Space thing. And if you notice, that is on the same thing. So then I can reposition the mic or that webcam back there in any of those holes, and then I can kind of move them around and do whatever I want. What kind of audio speakers am I using? These audio speakers, those are Audio Engine A5s. And then on the floor, I also have an Audio Engine subwoofer. So right down there. Love these speakers. They are, the only thing, you have to have one of those digital analog converters because they are analog speakers. So, yeah, you need to have one of those. Yeah, in the video description, I'll try to link to all the stuff that I have. Yeah, if you want to see, there's my lunch. Yep. Nice. We had ribs last night, so it's a rib salad, basically. Okay. So then we move over to here. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. My mic's pretty far away. Let me try to bring it a little bit closer. So that's my desk, right? And then over here, hopefully you guys can still hear me. But this is my, I bought a little server rack. And down here is my old computer. It's still on. I still use it for some things. This is my old Mac Pro. But in here, this is a mic preamp. So that's the DBX 286 mic preamp. Okay. And then this is a power line conditioner. So that, things like all my audio equipment and whatnot will go through this. So that it has nice, clean power. So there's no, loss of signal or, just gets you apparently better tone. This mic preamp is awesome. I really love it. It was pretty inexpensive, and probably one of the best things I've gotten for my audio setup here. Further down, this is my mixer. So down here, I have an audio mixer. Because my Heil mic, right, this guy right here, because this Heil mic is an XLR input, it doesn't have any sort of USBs. You have to have something like that mixer. Now, to be honest, in hindsight, that mixer is a little overkill, right? So I probably didn't need something that big. There's some really great things. If I were to do it again, I'd probably buy something different, a Scarlett or something like that. And those are really nice little, XLR to USB. Basically, I use that mixer so that I can plug my XLR into that. And then that has USB that goes into my computer. Right? I've used it for a few other things, but to be honest, it's been way overkill. But since I already had it, I didn't want to buy anything else. So let's go back to see what else I got down there. So here I have a Drobo, which isn't really used anymore. And then my Synology and backup power. So yeah. Here, let me go back. Okay, so hopefully that was, I don't know. I probably should have used that. It probably would have been a good call for me to use a little gimbal for my phones because it was probably all shaky and whatnot. Sorry about that. I didn't even think about that before, and I should have. If I ever use my phone again for a thing, I'll make sure I put it on a gimbal. Down there, because you guys probably couldn't hear everything, I have APC backup power. So that if power goes out, all my devices here aren't going to fry and all that jazz, right? Because we want backup power. The mixer is unnecessary yes, that is true. No, I need the mixer because the preamp doesn't have USB. So, right? So, yeah, essentially I'm using that as a glorified XLR to USB thing, right? But the preamp is freaking awesome. I had the mixer before, and then as I upgraded things, that mic preamp is awesome. But basically, I have the mic plugged into the preamp, and then the preamp plugged into the mixer, and then the mixer has the USB out that goes to my Mac. So yeah, I that's the real reason I needed that. And but yeah, there's something called a Scarlett i8 or something like that. That looks probably perfect for my needs and most other people's needs as well. Down below, I had a Synology NAS. That's where I love that thing. That thing is awesome. It runs all my backups. Obviously, it's a network attached storage and all that jazz, right? So, yeah, so that's good. Also, I use that as my Plex server. I run Plex on that, and instead of using like iTunes sharing and stuff like that, Plex is freaking awesome. So like I have all my local mostly for movies. I use it for movies and any like video courses that I've purchased. I throw it in Plex, and then I can watch it from any device, from Apple TV, from all my iOS devices, from any Mac. And the Plex apps are just awesome. So a lot faster than the native Apple ones, actually. So Plex is cool. I love it. I even bought the Pro version of it just to support them. The Drobo that I have down there, I hardly ever use that at all. I'm probably going to get rid of it. It's Firewire now. It's really old. I just have a lot of data on it. Right now I'm just using it as like backup. I mean, because it has like 16 terabytes. So yeah, why get rid of it? It's just kind of like a backup disk for me. Who cares how fast it is? It's as long as everything's backed up, right? And then the backup power. Did I talk about? Yeah, I did talk about the backup power. So yeah, that's really cool. I like the little rack mount stand that I bought. I got that last year to kind of clean up my office and stuff. Especially, well, also the power line conditioner and the preamp, they're rack mounts, so it's kind of an excuse as well. But I really like that. It kind of keeps everything nice and tidy in one spot instead of having wires all over the place. Okay, so software. Let me see if there's any more questions about my hardware here, really quick. Water by the keyboard. Yeah, water by the keyboard. Yep, don't spill it. Okay, let's go ahead and share my screen here. We're going to get a little bit of Nirvana in here because we'll get a little picture-in-picture going on. This is Wirecast. And this is the app that I use to do the live streams, right? So it's taken me a long time to really get to know Wirecast. I'll be honest, it's just, it's taken me a while to kind of get into it and really understand how it works. Basically, you can create a bunch of shots down here, and I can see here, like this is where it's like queued up, and then if I click this button, it's what goes live, right? And then it kind of transitions. So let me go back to the way it was. So this allows me to like transition to shots. Like for example, this right here is if I click this would go back to my iPhone. One thing I had initially this plugged into my iPhone. This is an external mic that I bought for my iPhone. And I never used it with Wirecast, but it kind of just worked with everything I've used it with. So possibly the audio on my iPhone didn't work because I had this in here. This is a great little mic though. If you want to record video on your iPhone, it's a Shure MV88, and it's just quality. It's really good. I notice a big difference. Actually, the big thing is this little windshield. It's directional, right? So yeah, this is a great little mic if you need to do some video work on your iPhones. Okay. And it has a lightning port, right? So it plugs right into the lightning port. There's a bunch of other external ones. Actually, Rode has a new I think it's a Bluetooth wireless lapel, and I'm looking at that, but I'm just gonna stick with this one for a while. Okay. So yeah, this is pretty much the software I use. This handles everything, right? It's really cool. I'm recording locally to that external SSD, as well as streaming to YouTube, right? Now, actually, I noticed I'm streaming at 30 frames per second right now. That is freaking cool. Because I wasn't able to do that last week. So Cool. Whatever I did, I think I fixed it. Hopefully the quality is going pretty good. Oh, what lights am I using? Oh man, good call. I have to show you those. Those are freaking cool. Hold on. Let me get back to my iPhone really quick. Okay. Let me go to my iPhone. Clear that. I'll go live. Okay. So I have these two lights up here, right? Number one and number two. And these are Elgato. Elgato. I think they're called. I don't know. They're from Elgato, and they're super light, right? They're super thin. They're just like, and then they have these extendable poles. And those extendable poles allow you a lot of freedom. If you notice, it has a desk mount, right? So it mounts right on my desk. I can raise them up and down. And what's really cool is it comes with a Mac app. And you could just simply make them as bright or as dim as you want, right? So I can make them bright or light. Really cool. You can also make them really cool or really warm. So you can do a lot of really cool adjustments straight from the Mac. And I have two of those, and those really do an amazing job. I really love those. Here, let me show you. Let's go back to my share my desktop. Those were not cheap. Those were like splurge purchases, essentially. Oh, looked like my iPhone audio decided to kick in. Okay, sorry. The audio on the iPhone decided to start working again, and so anyway, sorry about that. Let me show you the controls on that. So if I go over, oh shoot, it's controls are on the other side of my Mac. Darn it! Hold on one second. Let me. I'm gonna hide my video. I'm gonna show this video. Hold on one second. Let me move that over there. Boom. Okay. Go here. Let me see. Oh shoot, I'm trimming it. Let's see if I click on this. Okay. Okay. So if you see this little, I'm kind of trimming my Mac menu bar off. I'm not gonna try to fix that right now. So essentially, if watch me, right? I'm gonna go ahead and make these lights brighter. And they're like crazy bright, right? And I can make them really low. Most of the time I have them like around 15% is like almost all I need. Because if I turn these off, like I'll turn them off. Like this is my video, right? Look how bad it is, right? The lighting is absolutely horrific, right? So yeah, that's why I got these, because I wanted light to, right? So video and light is key, right? So these lights are spectacular. I love that you can control them from the Mac. Actually, that Stream Deck that I had down on my desk, one thing that I had before I switched to this laptop, all my old Stream Deck setup is on my Mac Pro, and I just haven't moved it over yet. But I can program various settings for these lights in that Stream Deck, because that Stream Deck, the thing that had all those buttons, right? That's also made by Elgato. So of course, all their products kind of work together, which is really nice. And like I can have preset, things for various light settings. So let's say I want, cooler light, or if I want, warmer light, you can do, all that kind of stuff. So really love these lights. They were not cheap. But I really like them. Okay. Let's go back to my normal setup here. I love our Wirecast. If you notice, it just went like, it's really cool. Took me a while to learn kind of how to get that all working really well, but yeah, pretty cool. So that's pretty much it for my live stream, to be honest. There are some things I don't have that configured on this Mac, huh? On my Mac Pro, if you remember, I configured inaccessibility. You can like zoom in, so that, yeah, I don't have it configured here. I need to do that. So I was zooming into parts of my RapidWeaver app and stuff like that. That's just a part of the Mac OS X system preferences, the zoom ability. And I think I just set it to, hold down Command or Caps Lock or something like that, and just scrolled with my mouse, and it would dynamically zoom into the screen so you can see something a little bit better. So that's pretty cool. You guys aren't getting any more. Oh, it's gone. Okay, cool. I saw the echo was gone. Okay, cool. Yeah, that was definitely my phone. Sorry about that. Okay, what other things do I use? For let's see. How about just normal like video recording? I don't really use Wirecast if I'm recording a tutorial video, right? I really only use it for live streams. One thing that's actually quite cool, I haven't really used it too much for it. When I did the conference, I used it. So if you attended my conference, basically I can have Wirecast become a virtual camera. So it shows up as a camera, it shows up as a webcam. So basically the view, so I can like share my screen and I can do all the Wirecast fancy stuff, like have the Weaver Space thing down on the bottom corner here. And I can do all of that with as a virtual webcam. So like I can, let's say I'm using Zoom, right? I use Zoom a lot. And I can, if I used Wirecast as a virtual webcam, I can then basically use Wirecast to stream into Zoom, which is kind of cool. So yeah, another thing that I experimented with last week, I kind of wanted to do it this week, but I didn't, is it's saying I shouldn't modify my streaming settings while I'm out here. I signed up for a service called Restream.io. And what that's going to do is, I mean, looking at the screen doesn't really do much, but what that will do is that'll allow me to simultaneously stream. Now that I see that I'm actually streaming at 30 frames per second now, which makes me really happy, I'm going to try to stream to YouTube and Facebook Live, right? So at the same time, basically I can stream to Restream, and then Restream.io will stream it out to YouTube and to Facebook. And then I could even have like a lot, like maybe Weaver Space /live, and then have like an embed right there on the live stream, so that you can just go straight to my website and watch the live stream there. So really cool. I'm experimenting with that service, and hopefully I'll start using it pretty soon. I've owned it for like 6 months, and just haven't had time to really do that. Let me turn off. If you didn't hear that, my computer every 15 minutes tells me what time it is. So that's quite loud. It says it's 12 o'clock. Okay. So regular video work, right? What do I use? So I use two apps primarily. I'll use ScreenFlow is my big one, right? So I'm not going to do a whole ScreenFlow tutorial. Oh, what's this? Would like yes, ScreenFlow can access my microphone. Come on, ScreenFlow. I'm going to stop sharing my screen actually. Okay. So I use ScreenFlow to record videos, to record screen recordings. And so, for example, all the videos that I did for Foundation 6, all those short tutorial videos that I did a week ago, I think I published those a week ago. I did all of those. I recorded all of those using ScreenFlow. Version 9 is out, and that's what I've been using. To be honest, I haven't looked at really what is new and fabulous about ScreenFlow 9. I just continue using it. I've been using it for years. Now, one thing I do have to say I'm trying to move to is to use Final Cut more. Some of the videos that I did for the Weaver Space conference, those were all done and edited in Final Cut. And so I'm trying to find a decent workflow for when to use ScreenFlow, when to use Final Cut. Final Cut just has obviously a lot more professional transitions. One reason I really started using Final Cut is it's not here in my office, but I do have a Canon 5D. And when I'm shooting talking head videos, a lot of times I'll use that. And the video files that come from that are ginormous. And they pretty much make adding them into ScreenFlow completely unusable. Like you cannot, it is, I tried it for many, many, many years and it is not usable. Okay. So I just finally bit the bullet, decided to try to use Final Cut, and working with those video files in Final Cut is like a dream come true. So, that is pretty much why I'm trying to move to Final Cut, because it's just faster, for editing, especially editing video footage from, an SLR, 4K or even HD video, coming from a 5D is actually, really great in Final Cut. And I made a bunch of friends. Actually, a buddy of mine, he has a website called Motion Master Templates. He spoke at the conference this year, and he makes Final Cut plugins. So I've been playing a lot with his plugins and trying to add a little bit extra finesse and flair. I haven't published many of those things. I'm just learning phase right now. But hopefully you'll see some stuff going on. A couple tidbits. If you do want to use ScreenFlow is what does it do better than Final Cut? Screen recording. Like if you want to record your screen, ScreenFlow is perfect for that. Like there's really nothing else better out there for it, to be honest, because afterwards, like you can like make your mouse bigger. It tracks a lot of things that's specific to screen recording. Okay. Where I started, hitting the limits of ScreenFlow is when I was bringing in external videos and trying to edit, more of movie-like videos with ScreenFlow. And it was kind of not liking that, right? But if you're doing screen recording, ScreenFlow is awesome. It is the bee's knees. Definitely start there. And buy it from the Mac App Store. Why do I say that? If you want to use it on multiple Macs or allow your wife and maybe your kids to use it, when you buy it from the Mac App Store, you can install it on as many computers as you want. But if you buy it directly from Telestream, then you're limited to, I think, 2 machines, and they like lock it down. Like they're really, really, really strict about that. So buy it from the App Store. And luckily, every year they release a new version, normally around November timeframe. And when they release a new version on the App Store, they have the upgrade pricing on the App Store for everybody. So like in November, I bought ScreenFlow 9 for like $49, I think, on the Mac App Store. But if you miss that window, like you have to pay full price or buy the upgrade straight from them. So unfortunately, if you don't have ScreenFlow now, you have to pay full price for it. But every November, you can get the newest version of ScreenFlow, even if you didn't own it before at all. All this would be fixed if Apple would just hunker down and allow upgrades in the Mac App Store, right? But oh well. Okay, I see a bunch of questions here. Still using the Magwell video capture. So I've never, Danny, I do have the Magwell, and I don't know where it is right now. But basically, the Magwell allows me to attach my Canon 5D to my Mac and use that for live streaming, in theory. I haven't actually tested it for live streaming. I've hooked it up and got my 5D recording to my Mac, but I haven't used it for live streaming yet. It's just one of those things. I also have down here, one thing I didn't show is I didn't, I have a green screen that I have yet to actually use for a live stream. I tried like 2 times, if you guys remember, and one time it like fell 10 minutes into the stream, and it was, yeah. Anyway, that was something else. So let's see what other things. Final Cut is great. Yes. Starts at 129. Yes. Mac only. Blackmagic. Oh yes. That capture card from Blackmagic looks awesome. It's definitely on my wish list. Danny, you showed that to me on a hangout a couple weeks ago, and it's on my wish list now, and I really, really like it. It looks really slick. And it would negate the need for that Magwell card that I got. Okay, wouldn't the workflow be better to use clips from ScreenFlow than to bring them into Final Cut than the other way around? Yes. So if in the future, if I want to make like videos where I record video from my 5D and then I want to intermix ScreenFlow video, I'm definitely going to use ScreenFlow to record my screen recordings, export those to video files, and then add those to a Final Cut project where I then basically merge it all together. Okay. Now I do have to admit, those Final Cut videos, because they were so short, like I just did them all inside ScreenFlow. And I didn't use Final Cut at all for those, mostly just for speed. Like I know ScreenFlow like the back of my hand, and I'm getting better at Final Cut, but I don't know like the back of my hand. So I wanted to get those videos out the door as soon as possible. And I didn't have any videos of me. It was just 100% screen recording. So that was perfect for that. Okay, cool. So yeah, any questions curious about what software I use for various things? I guess now I can just like dive into my applications folder
and we can look at what I'm doing and stuff like that. Would that interest you guys? I get a lot of comments on, or questions about that. So let me go ahead and see if I can add a quick screen capture. Okay. I'm just going to duplicate a shot really quick. Get rid of that cropping so you guys can see my Mac mini bar. There we go. Okay. Sorry, 1 second. Let me just go ahead and make sure that. Okay. Okay, let's just share my entire screen. Actually, here, so you guys can have my beautiful face to look at. We'll put it back. Okay. Is there a reason? You do not use a lavalier microphone? I guess for there is some more audio here. So when I'm recording, with my SLR, I use this bad boy. And the audio from this is just freaking gold. I am looking at some lavalier mics. Rode has one, like a Bluetooth one now that you can just clip on the back and it goes into, obviously it's lavalier, you can put it wherever. But this has been awesome. This is a Zoom H5, and it has various mic attachments, right? So this is the shotgun mic attachment, and basically I mount this to a tripod. And I point it at me, point it at me like this when I'm talking. And I have it just outside the video. And the audio that this captures is just crisp, like super, super crisp. Really clean audio. So I really love this. And I haven't gotten a lavalier just because I love the audio from this so much. When I did some of the videos for the conference, I had one where I don't know if you remember the sales video that I did for the conference. I sat on my sofa and then I did some talking from the sofa, and I was further away from this than I normally am, and a lavalier would have been perfect for that. But I don't have a lavalier. So anyway, yeah, thanks for the reminder. But this is what I use when I do a lot of recording with my SLR and stuff. This is what I use, and it is golden. Really, really awesome. I like that a lot. And my daughter had borrowed all of one thing I won't get into today. When I record with my SLR, I have like an entire setup. Like I have lights and I have tripods and I have things coming off my tripod to hold my mic and to hold the screen that I can see myself. And I got like an entire setup. It's way overkill probably for the projects that I do, but I think it's kind of fun. And my daughter's been trying to make videos, so she stole a lot of it. It's in her bedroom right now. Okay. What would be good to put any specials you are buying? ScreenFlow November. Oh, yes. Yeah, that would be. Yeah, and I try to put stuff in my newsletters. I haven't even gotten this week's out yet. I know, so much to do, so little time. Okay, let's go ahead and over here. Let me go ahead and I don't even know what apps to kind of talk about right now. I guess we can kind of look at what I have running right now. I guess one thing I should say is, if you look at my dock, I keep my dock pristine. Like my dock is pretty much empty. And I do that on purpose. So essentially what I do is I have no active apps inside my dock at all. If an app is in the dock, it means it's running, right? So I have Safari open because I have the chat room, and then I have Wirecast. If I have 0 apps running, the only thing here is Launchpad and Finder. To be honest, I hardly ever use Launchpad, but I don't know. I just kind of kept it there. And then, yeah, that's it. So that way it's really easy for me to know what apps are currently running, because if it's in the dock, it's running. That's just kind of how I am. I really like that. And how do I launch stuff? Like, my big thing is, hold on. My other display is my main display. Let me go ahead and move this over. Come on. There it goes. Okay. This is my beloved Alfred. I just hit Command Enter, and then I launch. If I want to launch an app, I just say, I don't know, Pages, right? I just type the word Pages, and that app comes up, right? And then I can arrow over, go to recent documents, and then I can explicitly open up a document that I know I've had open, right? It's just golden. Like Alfred, I couldn't live without Alfred on my Mac. It is definitely one of the few apps that is like the first thing to install. Like I can't breathe without Alfred, right? You could do, other things like you do, I don't know, calculations, right? Really quick. So you can do math straight in there. I use that for that all the time too. Yeah, you can find, you can find contacts in there, right? So Joe Workman, if I hit enter, it would show me all the, my phone number and address. Since this is the live stream, I'm not going to do that. Quicksilver is very similar. Yeah, I used to be a Quicksilver user, but I moved to Alfred quite a few years ago, and yeah, I love it. So yeah, Alfred's great. What's up in my Mac menu bar? Let's have a look up here. Let's go ahead, and I'm gonna have to turn my camera off so we can see. Okay, so up here in my Mac menu bar, so here, this is just a little thing for my PowerMate that I showed you had on my desk. This is a nice little app that I have, and this allows me to, I guess you can consider this one of my streaming apps, because it allows me to have some granular control over my webcams. So like I can, normally I turn autofocus off, because it keeps, if you remember last week, I had autofocus turned on, and it kept making me out of focus and whatnot. So you can do that. You can adjust white balance and all kinds of stuff. So this is like a $5 app on the App Store, and it's great. I love it. The only thing I wish you could do, you cannot control any of the Apple webcams. So like if you have a laptop, you cannot use this to tweak the Apple FaceTime camera. I have no clue why. I wish you could, because Apple's filters for that are horrible, and its white balance and its lighting and stuff is absolutely horrible. So, but anyway, if you have an external webcam, this is great. It's just called webcam settings. This is a little, if you can see this one is called, brightness menulet or something. It's not even like, you have to download this off GitHub, and basically it allows you to, you can easily, because I have 2 displays here, you can easily set the brightness of the displays. So yeah, I use that a lot. This is the thing that controls my lights. This is a little thing for Stream Deck, so I can open up Stream Deck and configure all the various buttons. Oh, it's over here. All right, so Stream Deck, that's that piece of hardware I had on my desk. Allows me to configure what every single button in there does. Right, really cool. These 2 here, these are awesome. This is probably one of my favorite apps. Is called Tooth Fairy, and it allows you to create various menulets. So I have two different Bluetooth headphones. I have Sony MDRs 1000s that basically are over the ear headphones. And then I have the Apple AirPods Pro, and it allows me to, create as many of these on my desk or on my menu bar as I want. And when I click on that, it attempts to connect to those headphones. So like if they're paired with your let's say your iPhone, and you want to switch to your Mac, you just go to your Mac menu bar, tap on it, and it'll connect to your Mac. Really, really cool. Okay. This one called Sound Source. It allows me to configure, various outputs for different apps and volume levels for various apps. It's kind of a cool. I like this stuff from Rogue Amoeba, and I like that. That's just ScreenFlow. This is a part of an app called iStat Menus. So this is their weather component to it. But this allows me to see like various CPU usage and memory usage and disk usage and all kinds of stuff about my Mac. I love iStat Menus. And then if you're new to the world of eGPUs, this little doodad over here, when you have an eGPU connected, this is what shows up. And then I can disconnect that if I wanted to, which I'm not going to do right now because it would kill my stream. Okay. Next up is this little doodad. And this is an amazing app that I could not live without, called Bartender. And where's Bartender going to open up? Here it is. Okay. Bartender allows you to, now if I click on this, you'll notice I get a lot more menu items. And these are all the menu items that I have hidden by default. And if I didn't have Bartender, my Mac menu bar icons would probably go like way past halfway on a 27-inch display, right? So yeah, Bartender is awesome. It allows you to configure what menu items you want to display, hide, or show, and all kinds of stuff. So just gives you a lot of configurability there. Okay. Actually, a new one that I recently picked up. Let me find it. Let me turn it on. Let's see if this. Oops. Not sure how this will work. Where is it gonna? Oh well. This is something I bought to whenever I use basically if I type a keystroke, it should display it up on the display, and it's not right now. I don't know why. Access is granted. Not sure why. It worked when I used my. Maybe it doesn't like this external keyboard or something. Not sure. Anyway. Okay. Any other questions? Bartender is on Setapp. Oh yeah, actually, that's a great thing. I do use Setapp. And I owned most of the apps before Setapp. But I owned Alfred beforehand. But Setapp is a great app. Yeah, I pay, I don't remember how much per month now, but I get access to tons of apps. And one app on here, CleanShot. Man, that app is awesome. That is the world's best screenshot utility. Is CleanShot. Freaking great app. Absolutely amazing app. Okay. Tooth Fairy, yes. Oh wow, webcam settings is $10.99 now. Wow. Okay. I mean, if you're going to be doing webcam work, yeah, it's kind of essential. So and it works really well. I don't want to bore you guys by going through my apps folder. Yeah. I got a lot of apps. I'm sure all of you guys do too. Here I can just peruse through some of these. Maybe I'll call out a few of my favorites. Obviously, 1Password. We can't live without 1Password, right? I mean, amazing app. I'm trying my best to use Affinity Photo and Designer. I bought Publisher on Black Friday, even though I've never even used it. Not sure I'll need to use. I'll have a need for it, but Arc. I bought Arc to do some backups, and I have to admit I've been bad and never used it yet. So, but that's like a great backup app. Bartender we talked about. This is that brightness menu-lit app that I use to control the brightness from my Mac menu bar. Let's see. This is a new one. Color Slurp. Someone told me about it, right? And there's tons of different various color apps. I just installed this. I haven't really played around with it much, but it's a new color app. You can download it for free, and then I forget, there's like an in-app purchase to purchase the pro version or something like that. But someone I trust said it was really awesome, so I'm going to give it a shot. Because yeah, SIP has some annoyances, and then I have a bunch of color apps installed. I've never found one that I truly love, so I don't know, maybe Color Slurp is one that's going to do it. I don't know, we'll see. Dash. I've talked about Dash in previous things. That's an amazing tool for documentation for CSS and HTML and all that stuff. super, super cool. Encrypt Me is a great VPN app if you need that. Fantastical, that's my calendar of choice. Droplr is my file sharing utility of choice. I really love Droplr. It's awesome. Although they kind of butchered their Mac app a little bit. It used to be better, but the service is good. GoodNotes, man. Okay, I don't have my iPad right here, but GoodNotes is it's the shit. Like that app on iPad, they basically their Mac version it's basically like a viewer, but the app is made for the iPad and the Apple Pencil. And if you need a note-taking app or even a way of marking up PDFs and stuff like that, GoodNotes is absolutely the shit. It is awesome. I love it. I think it's really good. It's really changed how much I use my iPad for various things. I really like it. So check out GoodNotes. I think I put it as a part of a couple of my newsletters just because I've really been using it a lot and I like it. So yeah. But I don't have my iPad, or else I try to show you a little bit of it right now. Let's see. Keep It. That's my Evernote replacement app. It's kind of like my digital filing drawer. I keep a lot of my personal stuff in there, so I'm not going to open that up right now because I'm not sure what doc will open up. But that's my digital filing cabinet. It has everything in it, and it uses iCloud. I used to use Evernote, but I moved everything off Evernote into Keep It, and it's awesome. I can like share folders with my wife, so she has Keep It on her laptop, and like let's say she deals with a lot of the medical bills and stuff like that, and I'll scan it, throw it in a folder inside Keep It, and it automatically gets to her laptop as well. Awesome stuff. Awesome. I love this work that Omni Group does. But I don't know, for some reason I buy all their apps and then I don't use them as much as I think I'm going to. Pika, that was the other color picker app that it was close to being perfect, but I don't know, it just never got there for me. So Pika. Obviously RapidWeaver, we all love RapidWeaver. Rocket is a fun little app. It allows you to insert emojis. Here, let me just open up like text editor or something like that. Okay, so if I just do, I forget. Helps if I learn how to type. Oh, does it not work in text edit? What the heck? Maybe it doesn't work in text edit. It's odd. Oh, I changed it to equals. I forgot. There it goes. So if you type, so you could have a trigger key. I set it to equals. I recently did that because colon was getting used by and getting annoying. So I'm playing around with different triggers, but yeah, basically you can, if you do equals and then start typing an emoji, you can just, oh yeah, that's the one I want. It's a quick way of inserting emoji. Really fun, really cool app. I think there's a free version as well. If you want to just use the free version. SQL Pro, I've kind of stopped using SQL Pro and I've moved to a new one that I'm trying to get used to. What is it called? Oh, it's inside of the setup folder. It's in setup called SQL Studio. I do like some things better about SQL Pro, but it's free and open source. And yeah, there's just some bugs in the latest version of Catalina that haven't been fixed, and it's just a little annoying. So anyway, here's Tooth Fairy. I talked about that. Tower, I've talked about that on different ones. It's my version control system. What apps do I have in setup? Where's setup at? Here's a folder, setup. CleanShot is a freaking great. I talked about CleanShot. IconJar, I've talked about IconJar before. Give us that SQL Studio Pro. Timing is a good app. This touch retouch, that's like magical. Like I don't use it very often, but if you have something that you need to get like scrubbed from an image, it's pretty magical. Anyway. Bear is awesome as the Evernote replacement. Yeah, Bear is so if you need notes and stuff, I think so. I used Evernote mostly as like a digital filing cabinet. So just basically a place to store PDFs. Evernote was really good for that too. And I mean, you can store Keep It can have notes, but yeah, it's not great for that. I use an app called Drafts actually. I figured out why that keyboard thing, it's showing the keyboard shortcuts on my other display instead of on this display. Interesting. I'm gonna figure out if I can move that to my secondary display because I normally screen share this one during screen whatever. I use this app called Drafts, and it's kind of like my digital just scrapbook. I see this is last week's. I type everything into this and then move it or copy paste it somewhere. So pretty much every piece of text that I've typed goes into Drafts, and then it goes somewhere else from there. So yeah, Drafts is kind of like my digital notebook right now. Default folder X. Yeah, that's a good one. It's kind of one that works in the background. You don't really, it does its job really well. To be honest, it has a ton of features that I don't even use, but default folder X is definitely a good one too. Okay. So anyway, that's it, guys. Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed today. Maybe another time I can try to do maybe a little bit more formal or structured, chat about all my various components and things. But hopefully you enjoyed today. Hopefully it was okay for you and everything worked out okay. Yeah, we'll talk to you next week. I'm glad, the live stream the quality seems to be pretty good. It seems like I'm streaming at 30 frames per second now, which is really awesome. And yeah, I'm really excited about that. So, hopefully you enjoyed, seeing my setup. If you have any questions, I'll try to get together a list of all the gear. I've been wanting to put together a page on my site that has /uses that just list out everything that I use and my favorite stuff. So anyway, hope that you had a good time today. Hopefully my camera videos didn't give you motion sickness or anything. and hopefully, I won't be on the Hangout this week, but make sure you check out the Hangout. There's going to be a bunch of really great guys out there. And yeah, we'll talk to you guys next week. Cheers.